Hello, and welcome to part 2 of episode 1 of One Track Minded, a series in which I will be exploring sound design, instrument design, I guess, and performance by creating a series of short pieces using only one MIDI track. Yeah, this first one I've made is quite simple. I didn't want to go too overboard, just so I could have a means to test the format of this show, I guess. Just seeing if I can actually put this sort of video together. I don't really do a lot of things where I'm looking at the camera and talking. So this is new to me. Hopefully it goes alright. This first piece is put together using this instrument rack that has 3 layers on it. The first layer is just an electric piano, which is the Lounge Lizard session piano from Applied Acoustic Systems. It's a physical modeling piano, so these aren't samples. This is maths. The reason it's kind of ringing out and sustaining so long, despite me only playing notes for a very short amount of time, because of this note length MIDI effect, which makes it so regardless of how long I play a note, it rings out for a whopping 16.2 seconds, which really keeps things going. And then there's just a velocity MIDI effect to soften and dampen those notes a little bit, make sure they don't hit too hard if I'm going ham because of some of the other layers, because I made this synth layer, which I'll get to in a bit more reactive to velocity. The second layer is this bird song recording that I captured, I guess, on the 8th of April. Recorded it on my little Tascam there, just out the window, because the birds were being a bit noisy. So that only comes in because of the slow attack time if you're holding it for a while. So I really have to hold the note. So you're not just hearing the bird song, in fact you're not really hearing the bird song on its own at all. You are hearing the bird song running through Corpus, which is, again, Applied Acoustic Systems, I guess, made this for Ableton. This is I guess a convolution, you could kind of call it, device that emulates processing the sound through various materials and objects. So this is through a pipe, so without that, quite natural and boring. It's just this loop I've taken from the actual recording. But with Corpus, it actually rings out quite nicely, and the background noise makes a sort of soft pad, which just so happens to playing a B. So I shaped the piece to be around that tone when I actually played it. And the Corpus doesn't have too much of an effect on the bird song itself, but it does kind of give it, I think, a more of a digital, ringy feeling, I guess. Gives it more, it sounds like it's like an FM synth or something almost. The third layer is this synth made in Vital, which, like, that. Quite a big sound, quite layered. So it's made up of these 3 oscillators that are each kind of doing a different part. There's this first one, which is just this nice long bell sound. The wavetable of which is modulated by the second envelope. And it's 7 semitones down from whatever I'm playing, so it actually makes kind of an extra interesting chord on its own just by holding like 1 or 2 notes. The second layer is this plucky ARP. The pluck of which, I guess, is controlled by LFO1, which is set to loop point mode, which means that if I kind of leave a gap between 2 notes I press like that, that's a bad interval. Sorry, I'm just playing around on my keyboard. Oh, we might have to wait a bit because I have a very slow LFO being modulated by, or sorry, I have an auto filter being very slowly modulated by an LFO to to kind of bring the ARP in and out. There you go, you can hear it now though. But you can hear that gap between the two notes that I played is maintained in the LFO, because it has two separate ones for each voice. It rings out nicely, and then I just have some purl-in noise modulating this form scale parameter, which is just affecting the wavetable to kind of give it some character as it moves along. The last layer is very bassy, very hummy, but that is being modulated very slowly as well by this LFO, which I'll speed up for demonstration purposes. As it perks up here, this low pass filter becomes a band pass filter, and at the same time it increases the volume of this vocal bell, the first oscillator. Then as it goes back down, we go back into a low pass filter, bass is kind of brought back in, and the bell gets a little slightly quieter. Another mechanic of this layer is the use of an expression pedal to control if notes are being sent to it or not. So using expression map or expression control, which is a Max for Live device, which you can get in the MIDI effects section. You can control various parameters using MIDI expression, and you can see I've just mapped it to the out high of this velocity device. So that controls the maximum velocity that will be allowed through of any given note. So if it's set to 0, then any note that has a velocity greater than 0, which is any note that I play, will not be allowed through. When I press the pedal, any note is allowed through because it gets set up to 127. So then I can play it. So if I have the pedal set to the lowest point and play chord, you can hear the piano and the synth, and the birds, but you can't hear the synth. I put it up, play it again, and the synth comes in. Yeah. So yeah, nothing too complicated there, but a good range of sounds that I'm able to control and introduce by the mechanics of how I play. Hopefully in later episodes of this I can make some stuff that's a bit more complicated. I already have some ideas, but I hope you've enjoyed this first episode of One Track Minded. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, thanks for watching.